Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, please click my logo below and subscribe to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors. It's free, and your subscription will help get Jennifer's story out to more people. People who are going through a similar situation. Maybe someone's listening that is in an abusive relationship or is witnessing abuse and doesn't know what to do and what their options are, or what their consequences are if they don't report it. Please like and subscribe. In episode 11, you heard Cody's interview with the Pennsylvania State Trooper David Patrick on November 20th, 2013 at the police barracks. His 1 hour and 7-minute chat was drastically different from Jennifer's 8 hours and 30 minutes of being interrogated at those same barracks. Cody spent a total of 67 minutes at the police station being talked to, while Jennifer spent 510 minutes being interrogated. Cody was not read his Miranda rights at the police barracks, while Jennifer, she was read her rights all 3 times. Cody was only audio recorded, while Jennifer was both audio and video recorded for 2 of the 3 interrogations. Jennifer was told or questioned about shaking or grabbing Sophia's head 79 times. While Cody, he was asked if he shook Sophia only 1 time. Jennifer was told or questioned about hurting or hitting Sophia's head 30 times. And Cody was asked if he hurt her just 2 times. Jen was questioned or told that she was frustrated, stressed, or upset the morning of November 15, 60 times. While Cody, he was never asked about being stressed. Jennifer was told that she knows what happened. She needs to tell the truth or to be honest 115 times. While Cody was never told that. Jen said, "I don't know what happened. Everything was normal. I didn't hurt her. Or I didn't do anything to her," 112 times in the 510 minutes of being interrogated. Jen's recollection of Wednesday evening was this.
And then what happened?
He's like, "You're done," and he yanks her off and throws it I don't know, it's throwing her / dropping her kind of on the ground, the floor, and puts a diaper on her. First he smacks her butt some more and then puts a diaper on her and puts her pants on and takes her back to the bedroom. He has her her head's hanging down here, and he's smacking her butt while it's up here. And she just keeps on crying.
But you said that he abruptly threw her on her potty chair, right?
Yeah, and then she went go crying, and then he picked her up and smacked her butt and put a diaper on her and put her pants back on and threw her up over his shoulder and took her back to bed. And he was smacking her and smacking her butt. It was 10 times, if not more, right in a row.
And Cody told Trooper Dave Patrick this.
During one interview with Jen, she had said that there were two incidents. One where you had picked her up kind of rough, and I think she said you picked her up and kind of threw her up on your shoulder and then set her down on the couch pretty hard. Do you remember doing that?
No.
Okay. The times that you smacked her, though, you smack her bottom, you're saying just a light tap.
Just a light tap, just enough to get it.
Did you ever smack her a little harder than that sometimes on the butt?
Maybe once in a while when she was going out of control, maybe really biting or something, I'd
Smack her a little harder?
Not
okay. And
too
that's
hard.
fine. There's nothing wrong with
not
that.
Not too hard, though, you know. I mean, she's 2 years old. She's fragile.
Did she always have a diaper on? Did you ever smack her bare butt?
No, it was always with a diaper.
Okay. How about grabbing a hold of her? Did you ever grab a hold of her and like set her down on the couch real hard, or?
No, I never slam her or do anything hard.
Okay.
Jennifer's recollection of Cody nearly suffocating Sophia was this.
Okay.
And there was one time whenever she was crying so much that he just picked her up off her potty because she was going to pee, and he smacked her butt and then pulled her pants up and then put her on the chair, and she wouldn't quit crying, so he took the blanket that was there and like shoved it in her face like he was going to like suffocate her.
While Cody said this.
One other incident I want to ask you about that she had mentioned something about, I'm not sure where she was at, where Sophia was, but you had put a pillow on her, in her face, pushed a pillow in her face. I don't know if she was sitting on a couch or something. And you
I know
mad at her.
we play around, me and her both do. Like, I put a pillow in front of her, but it's just bumping her face, not
smothering her.
No,
or anything.
it's just like
you're just playing with.
Just playing like.
And that may be what she was talking about. I'm not sure.
Like, it'd just be like right up, like not in her, like pushing on her face, just like bumping her, like hiding, and
Okay.
put it there, like set it in front of her. You know, the pillow as big as she is, and then she'd move it. I'd put it back, and
Okay. That's probably what she was talking about.
Jennifer told police that this happened Thursday afternoon.
Ronnie Seabridge brought him pills, and Cody's on probation and parole, and I was sitting back in the back bedroom, and I walked out, and there was a straw cut in half, like they were snorting it. There were like 4 lines of like pills that he crushed up, and they were snorting them.
okay.
And here's what Cody had to say about that same afternoon.
Well, those my friends were there, and she accused me, "Oh, you're not talking to me. You always do that," or whatever. It's like, well, you weren't saying anything to anybody. I mean, we're all talking. You can talk too. And then she got mad and went back to the bedroom, and I said, well, and I walked back there to see what was going on. Maybe she wanted to talk in private. I said, well, what's going on? She's like, well, I'm just going to be back here if you're going to be out there talking to them and everything. I said, well, I'm not going to ignore my friends. They're my friends. I'm going to talk to everybody. I said, well, if you quit getting mad or whatever, I said, you can come out and talk to us. And that's when she exploded, when she came back out and said all that crazy stuff about her ripping her hair out, killing herself, and all that. And I said, that's enough for me right now. I said, you can pack your stuff and you can go home, go back to your parents' house right now. I said, I don't need that. And she says, no, I'm not leaving. And she calmed down, and it was fine the rest of the night.
Jen recalls this occurring when she and Cody went to the trailer before heading to Pittsburgh to be with his dying child.
Just you and Cody right out together?
First we went home because he had to take a shower, and then he's like, we need to clean this place up, and he had like knives and stuff in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They were like all over. He's like putting them in a backpack, and then he gets the pills and he puts them in there, and then he hides it all down at the garage.
Okay, why does he do that?
Because he thought CYS was going to come to the house.
Okay. And does he say anything else to you? Does he?
He told
I
me.
mean, be honest
He
with
told
me.
me to fill up water, like the Pepsi bottles, some 2-liter bottles with water,
Uh-huh.
and he was taking all of them out there so in case he got a drug test, he would pass it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Water would help or what, but he's
Okay.
like, just fill everything up with water that you can find.
While Cody says he went home to shower and then left right away. Pennsylvania State Troopers Mary Jane McGinnis and Kimberly Ronan told Jennifer that Cody was to blame multiple times.
Cody treats you like crap, okay? He does. I'm here to tell you. You need to get away from him, okay? I told you, you're a pretty girl. You don't need him, okay? He had you in that house like a hostage, okay? He didn't have you wouldn't let you drive his truck. Wanted you to clean his house, clean up from his kid. The way I look at it, he's to blame for this. Okay? I do. We talked about this. Cody put you in a bad position. It's a kid watching a kid. You're stuck in there. You're a hostage. You have no car. You have no money. I don't know if he gave you a phone to call anybody. I don't know if you can get out in any way, if you can have communication with people. You should be out with Pee-wee, shouldn't you? Out with Pee-wee enjoying life. Even when you go with Pee-wee, you got to take the baby with you. It's not right. It wasn't right what Cody did to you. And when you shook that baby, it's his fault. It's not yours. It's his fault for putting you in that position. I believe that. It's not your fault. It's Cody's fault. All this is Cody's fault. When he brought you in there, he set you up for this.
Yeah,
He doesn't give two shits about that kid. It was not your fault. It's Cody. Cody did this to you. And like I said, I know Cody. I know that he's a druggie. I know that he's a thief and he's a liar. And I wish nobody blames you. Nobody. None of us do. I can tell you that doctors do, but we don't blame you. You know, we don't blame you. You're a kid yourself. You know, you really are. You shouldn't have been put in that position. And that's, that. Like I said, ultimately, you know who it goes back to? I don't care what you did. It ultimately goes back to Cody. Putting you in, taking care of his child who he doesn't really even care about. You know?
Jennifer was asked to take a polygraph exam 44 times while she was at the station. And Cody was never requested to take one during his recording. Although Cody did end up taking a polygraph exam in early 2014. I'm going to get to that later on in this episode. But you guys, I want to keep things in the order that they occurred as much as possible. If you're curious about the style of interrogation apparently used by Pennsylvania State Police, check out the REID technique. That's REID technique. There's a great deal of information out there, and it will really open your eyes as to how these cops appear to have been trained. There are 9 steps to the REID technique, and it is a structured method used by law enforcement and other investigators for interviewing and interrogating suspects. It was developed by John E. Reed and Associates and is divided into 3 main phases: factual analysis, behavior analysis, interview, and the interrogation. The most well-known part is the 9-step interrogation process, which is used when the investigator believes the suspect is guilty. And I found the article titled "The Interview," written by Douglas Starr on December 1st, 2013. I found it to be very informative and put a lot into perspective for me. Check it out to learn more. I'll put a link to the article on my Can't Stop, Won't Stop Facebook page. Okay, let's get into the police report. I already read you parts of the interviews conducted on the 15th of November. Cody and Jennifer at the hospital, Cassandra Evans, Brandy Lauder, and the 2 ambulance personnel at the police barracks. I also discussed Raymond Lauder, Ronnie Seaprish, and Stephanie Schaefer's statements as well. According to the police report, on the weekend of November 16 and 17, 2013, Pennsylvania State Trooper Justin Jones spoke with Dr. Adelaide Eichmann via phone. The report states in part, quote, Hoffman had suffered extensive brain injuries and that she observed a small bruise on each side of the victim's head, and furthered that from her evaluation, this was from being violently shaken. She advised that after receiving the injury, the victim would have went unresponsive within minutes. She further advised that she observed retinal bleeding in Hoffman. She related that in order to declare Hoffman brain dead, that 2 brain death tests would need to be conducted 24 hours apart, and that they were going to do those, end quote. Now, According to the documents provided by Pittsburgh Children's Hospital, Sophia's second brain death test was performed the morning of November 17 when she was pronounced deceased at 8:54 a.m. This same document states that the first brain death exam was performed yesterday afternoon. Y'all, that is not 24 hours apart, as Dr. Eichmann stated it must be done. However, after doing some research on my own, I found that the requirement of time between tests for children ages 2 to 18 is a 12-hour minimum. Clearly, Eichmann was not caught up on her training. Much more on Adelaide Eichmann and her apparent lack of scientific knowledge coming soon. I believe Eichmann played a huge role in the tunnel vision toward Jennifer MEDZIE. Back to the police report. Justin Jones also wrote the summary of McGinnis and him interrogating Jennifer MEDZIE on November 17. Check out part 8 of this series for the audio version. After interrogating Jennifer for 3 hours, Pennsylvania State Trooper Justin Jones's summary is not a true reflection of their talk, in my opinion. It's half a page of Jennifer retelling her story of the morning of November 15. Nothing about the abusive relationship, nothing about the drug usage, nothing about Jen not knowing what happened to Sophia. You can view the entire summary on my Patreon page at patreon.com/can'tstop.won'tstop. It'll cost you a minimum of $3 a month, and your money goes towards helping grieving families. In order to continue our passion, we need your help to support our donations to families, headstones for deceased loved ones, FOIA requests for loved ones, hotel and travel costs for us to meet grieving families, and so much more. Okay, so next in the action report is the summary of Jennifer MEDZIE's interrogation on November 18. It's written by Trooper Kimberly Ronan. In it, she states, quote, "Preliminary medical evaluation indicates Hoffman died from shaking baby syndrome. MEDZIE was caring for the victim at the time she lost consciousness. At this time, MEDZIE denied causing the death of the victim or abusing the victim in any way." End quote. She went on to say, quote, "MEDZIE admitted to shaking the victim in the past on 2 separate occasions in October of 2013. MEDZIE denied shaking or harming the victim the morning the victim lost consciousness. MEDZIE admitted to feeling guilt after she shook the victim on both occasions, to the point she punished herself by pushing on her own eyes and face." End quote. 3 hours. And that's the summary. Disgraceful. This is important because, you guys, it appears that the experts and the attorneys relied heavily on these summaries when preparing for trial. Check out part 9 for the detailed interrogation. The next day, November 19, 2013, according to the police report, Trooper Patrick re-interviewed Cody Louder at his home and got permission to search and take photographs of the residence. I will read to you exactly what the summary says about this interview. Quote, "I took 51 photos of the inside and outside of his residence. As I was photographing, Cody stated and showed me where Sophia's bedroom was located and the pack and play where she used to sleep. He showed me the area where she used to get changed beside the coffee table. He showed me the potty chair in the living room and related that there was still urine in it from Sophia that was probably from Friday morning when she was with Jen. He also showed me a used diaper that was still in the kitchen garbage that he related must have been the one that Jen took off of Sophia Friday morning, end quote. The next page of the investigation action report is Trooper David Patrick's summary of his interview of Cody Lauder at the Pennsylvania State Police Clearfield Station, the one you heard in part 11 of this series. This is what he wrote. Quote, he related details beginning with him obtaining custody of Sophia in February of 2013, her medical conditions, and the daily activities leading up to her admission in the hospital on 11/15/13, end quote. Those were the main points that David Patrick got out of his 1 hour and 7-minute interview. And y'all, he put false information in his summary. Cody did not, quote, obtain custody of Sophia in February of 2013, end quote. Cody posted publicly that he gained custody of Sophia on May 20th, 2013. May, not February. Now for the summary of Jen's 2.5-hour interrogation on November 20th, written by Trooper Kimberly Ronan. Quote, in comparison to MEDZIE's interview on November 18, 2013, she provided no new information, end quote. You guys can view this interrogation with no new information in part 10 of the series. On November 20th, 2013, Sophia's autopsy was performed. I will cover the autopsy report in the next episode. Kevin Hangst was interviewed at the Clearfield station on November 22nd, 2013. And according to the summary written by Trooper David Patrick, he told him that his daughter Kenzie is the biological mother of Sophia, and she had been residing with her mother and had a serious drug addiction. And that is why Kenzie lost custody of Sophia. He said that Kenzie will now be living with him and that the funeral for Sophia is the next day, November 23rd, and that he will bring Kenzie to the station on the 24th for an interview. Well, according to a police report, there was not an interview with Kenzie on the 24th of November. However, on December 9th, 2013, Sergeant Sven Donaldson spoke with Kenzie via telephone. His summary of that call is, quote, she reported the following in substance. I have been trying to get into contact with the investigator whom is investigating the death of my child. His name is Trooper Patrick, and he works at the Clearfield barracks. I know that the father of my child killed her because he will not take a lie detector test. I just know that he killed her, but I do not know anything else about her death. I gave over custody to her father because I was having a hard time, and I thought that she would be better off with him, end quote. Keep in mind that Kenzie stated that she knows Cody killed Sophia after she had already heard from the medical staff that Jennifer was the only one with Sophia at the time her injury allegedly occurred. Kenzie did not testify during the trial. According to the investigation action report, Kenzie was interviewed by Trooper Justin Jones at the Clearfield State Police Station on or about the week of December 8 to 14, 2013, Apparently, Justin forgot to fill out the date at the time of the interview. His summary states in part, quote, "She felt somewhat responsible for what happened. She got into some things and she could not be the mom that she wanted to be. She willingly gave custody to Cody's parents. She advised that she has last seen her daughter approximately 7 or 8 months ago, and that Cody and her family would not let her see her daughter," end quote. And then it states in the report, quote, "Hengst related to me that Louder was physically abusive, elaborating by stating that if she would not have sex with him, he would grab her by the head and slam it off the bed. He also would just push her around in general. She described Louder as very controlling and advised that is why she left. He would not allow her to see her friends," end quote. When asked about what the doctors had told her, it's documented, quote, "Hengst advised me that the doctors told her that this could have been an ongoing thing and that the last step was her passing out. Hengst stated, 'I'm not blaming anyone either.' She stated Louder would be capable of doing it because he has anger issues and could have snapped and done something," end quote. And again, Sophia's mother, Kenzie Hengst, did not testify in court. Okay, so now we are into 2014. On January 20th, 2014, according to the police report, Cody Louder agreed to take a polygraph exam at the Clearfield station. During the pretest interview, Trooper Kimberly Ronan wrote the following, quote, "Louder denied causing the death or injury to the victim intentionally and or accidentally. Louder was certain that he did not cause the injuries or death of the victim. He remained consistent with the information he'd provided in previous interviews with Trooper Patrick. Louder did mention that the night before the victim was taken to the hospital, he had friends Ron Seaprish and Stephanie Schaefer over at his residence. He reluctantly admitted that they were using pills that night and did not want to get them involved because of the drug portion. Louder related that MEDZIE engaged in an argument with him over her watching the victim. Louder related that MEDZIE allegedly told him that the victim cried while she watched her all the time and that she didn't listen. Louder related that MEDZIE told him to choose between her or the victim. He alleged that he told MEDZIE to pack up and leave then. When asked if they argued about using drugs that night, Louder related that MEDZIE accused him of smoking marijuana that night. Louder related the argument was over the victim," end quote. All right, so that was the pre-exam. Now on to the exam itself. The report states, quote, "The polygraph examination was conducted on details of the incident, utilizing the U-phase technique. The examinee answered no to the following questions on 3 separate testing sequences. 1. Did you cause the injury to that child? 2. Did you cause the injury to that child that morning? The charts were then analyzed, and according to Kimberly Ronan's report, quote, "The examinee's physiological responses on the above questions were found to be consistent with non-deceptive responses," end quote. With the conclusion, no deception indicated. Y'all, notice how vague Kim's questions are. She never names that child. She never names the injury. She never says the date of that morning. Anyone who took that exam would have passed. Think about it. How is it even possible to be deceptive with those questions? You can't. Did you cause the injury to that child? Did you cause the injury to that child that morning? And by the way, according to AI, the you phrase technique is as simple as it sounds. The questions are focused on using the phrase, did you? Ronan, what a joke, in my opinion. Y'all, this is your tax dollars. This is what they're going towards. Negligent police work, in my opinion. Then, according to the police report, on February 20th, 2014, Trooper David Ray executed a warrant for Sophia's medical records from Du Bois Regional Medical Center. I found a hidden document in those records that no one thought that I'd find. I'll discuss that in an upcoming episode. Next, Trooper David Patrick interviewed Dr. Adelaide Eichmann again via phone on March 28, 2014. According to the police report, Trooper Patrick states, quote, I told her that this investigation is being considered a homicide investigation at this point, pending results of the autopsy. She related that she was glad to hear that it was being considered a homicide because that is what it is. She believes that Sophia is the victim of abusive head trauma, shaken baby syndrome, end quote. And then on April 16, 2014, Trooper David Ray transported a warrant for Sophia's medical records from Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh of UPMC. And on May 29 of that same year, 2014, this same trooper executed a warrant for Sophia's medical records from Clearfield Hospital. And then 3 months later, according to the police report, Pennsylvania State Trooper David Patrick made a call to the Allegheny Medical Examiner's office to find out if the final autopsy report was completed. Trooper Patrick noted that forensic investigator Curtis Williams related that there was still no manner of death listed on the report. He asked me what our investigation was being carried as, and I related to him that we were investigating the incident as a homicide. He then related that he would list the manner of death on the report as homicide, and that he would fax me a copy of the report in about 15 minutes, end quote. Hold on. Something about this seems extremely shady. A forensic investigator that did not perform the autopsy examination, writing the manner of death because a cop, a crooked one in my opinion, influenced him? I think Curtis Williams needs to be questioned about this. Well, come to find out, on that same day, 10 minutes later, quote, investigator Curtis Williams called Trooper Patrick back and, quote, related that he spoke to the doctor, Kenneth Clark, and that he told him to list the manner of death as undetermined. 6 minutes later, Dave Patrick received a case information sheet from Williams via fax, and the manner of death was listed as undetermined, end quote. Shady as fuck, in my opinion. Then, on October 16, 2014, according to the investigation report, Trooper David Patrick spoke with District Attorney William Shaw, and Shaw related that he referred this case to the statewide Medical Examiners Review Board. And now we're into 2015. And Cassandra Evans comes in hot with breaking news. Trooper David Patrick reported that on January 20th, 2015, 431 days after Sophia collapsed, he spoke with Cassandra Evans via phone. David's report states, quote, she related that she had received several email messages from Jen MEDZIE prior to Sophia's death. The emails related that Jen was tired of watching Sophia and that she was going to hurt her or herself. Cassandra related that she would print one of the emails off and drop it off at the station. End quote. That same day, Trooper Patrick noted that he received a copy of an email from Cassandra Evans that she received from Jennifer MEDZIE on October 11, 2013. So Cassandra received this email, Facebook message, on October 11, 2013. Sophia was pronounced deceased on November 17, 2013. And she reported this email, Facebook message, on January 20th, 2015, over 1 year later. It states, quote, ha ha ha, at least he got it. Yeah, after she sat on timeout, and she sat there for like 15 minutes, and I asked if she wanted me to paint her nails, then I fed it to her. I'm stuck with her now while Cody sleeps. I'm pissed. I said, is she going up there? And he said, how often does she go up there anymore? I said, never. And he just fell back asleep. It's not supposed to rain tomorrow. I checked on every news thing, haha. I'll check again. Seriously, Pee-wee, I'm sick and tired of watching her. I'm going to end up hurting her or me. More than likely me. I'm not kidding. I'm tired of yelling at her for putting her finger in her mouth and for teasing Jackson. The next time Jackson bites her, I'm just going to let him. I don't care. Someday next week, maybe, Sophie's going to have to go with Brandy because my mom's going to make a hair appointment. It's just, would you take me to Tracy's to get it done? I feel bad for asking, end quote. To be extremely clear, you guys, this is a Facebook message, not an email. Much more on Cassandra and her suspicious timeline coming soon. Cassandra's phone was extracted, and the Celebrate data was reviewed by David Patrick on March 31st, 2015. He documented, quote, there was no evidentiary information retrieved from the cell phone extractions, end quote. And then on October 8th, 2015, according to the police report, the Medical Examiners Review Board in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania discussed the death of Sophia Hoffman, and the report states, quote, the opinion of the majority of the board members was that the death of Sophia Hoffman was clearly homicide, end quote. The board members advised District Attorney William A. Shaw Jr. to seek the opinion and testimony of an expert pathologist in the field of child and infant death investigations. 8 days later, on April 16, 2015, Jennifer was interviewed at the police barracks for an hour and 30 minutes by Trooper David Patrick and Kimberly Ronan. I will play parts of that recorded interview in an upcoming episode. But the summary, written by Trooper Patrick, states nothing new regarding Jen's recollection of what happened to Sophia. Now we're on to the year 2016, over 2 years since Sophia's death. Y'all, a year after the review board suggested an expert's opinion, 1 year later, on April 1st, 2016, District Attorney William Shaw found an expert pathologist to look at the case. His name is Harry Camero from the Mount Nittany Hospital. It's no coincidence that he found him on April 1st. Camero is like a real-life April Fool's joke, in my opinion. Just wait. According to the police report, a copy of Harry Camero's report was given to Pennsylvania State Trooper David Patrick on June 14, 2016. And Camero's conclusion is that, quote, the victim's cause of death is global hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, and her manner of death is homicide, end quote. I will read you more of his report in the next episode. The prosecution finally gets what they need to charge Jennifer MEDZIE. I wonder if they asked other pathologists to take a look in that year that passed, but they didn't come up with homicide. Maybe. And maybe not. Just a thought. And then, you guys, on June 16, 2016, Trooper David Patrick wrote in a police report, quote, I prepared a criminal complaint charging Jennifer Ann MEDZIE with criminal homicide, aggravated assault, felony 1, endangering the welfare of children, felony 3, simple assault, misdemeanor 1, and recklessly endangering another person, misdemeanor 2. The complaint was forwarded to District Attorney William A. Shaw, Jr. for his approval, end quote. Next time on Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors, I will go over baby Sophia's autopsy report, Dr. Harry Camero's expert report, Jennifer's final interview at the police barracks, and what the affidavit of probable cause said. So many people failed Sophia Margaret Hoffman. And you guys, as of this recording, Jennifer MEDZIE is the only person to be convicted for this sweet baby girl's death. And she's currently sitting in SCI Cambridge, serving a 20 to 40 year sentence for third-degree murder. Thank you for your support. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors on YouTube. It's a free and easy way to help get awareness out about the corruption happening throughout this country. I appreciate you.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again, for you, for you, for you. You